Brother lads, welcome back to Cossy Arsenal Podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We are going to be talking Gabriel Jesus. We're going to be talking about the latest around Arsenal. It looks like we might go back to the market to sign a new striker as Gabriel Jesus has picked up another long-term injury confirmed by Mikel Arteta. He will be out of action for a couple of weeks, and that actually puts us in a very difficult situation. Everything is going so wrong with this season, isn't it? Everything is going so wrong with this preseason. And now, as we start our charge for the title, our main striker is out injured. Now, in the comment box below, I want your thoughts. I want your opinions there. What should we do in terms of options? Because we have a couple of them, to be honest. One is stick with Edin Ketia until Gabriel Jesus comes back. That is what we did in January. And I think he scored 4 goals in 10 games. That was not actually really impressive, okay? And he did miss a couple of chances, and he showed that on the big stage against Manchester City, he's not the guy to rely on. The other option is to use Leandro Trossard as your false 9. Now, he's played there before. Mikel has actually used him there with Saka, Trossard, and Gabriel Martinelli, and it has actually worked out. But Trossard has actually started off very well in that new role where Granit Xhaka was playing last season. So I don't know whether that is actually advisable. But of course, Trossard is an option. Keeping Florian Balogun is the other option. So you think about it and you're like, if you have a 20-goal machine, this could be the opportunity to keep Florian Balogun. This could be the chance Arsenal have to convince Florian Balogun that you're going to be a starter and you're going to be the main man now that Gabriel Jesus is injured. But then also, the other option is to use Kai as a number 9. Now, this would be a disappointment to Kai Havertz because when he signed for Arsenal, that is one of the guarantees that Mikel Arteta gave him, that he understands him and is not going to use him falsely as a 9 like he was used at Chelsea. But what are your thoughts and what are your opinions on the Gabriel Jesus situation, and what should we do? Of course, the other option is to go out in the market and try to flex with the likes of Chelsea, with the likes of Bayern, to sign a prolific number 9. We are talking Harry Kane, we are talking Dusan Vlahovic, we are also talking Victor Osimhen if Arsenal have the funds at their disposal. Now, this is Mikel Arteta. In his press conference after the game versus Monaco, he was asked on Gabriel Jesus' injury, and he said, unfortunately, he's had a little procedure this morning. He had some discomfort in his knee, and that has been causing some issues for him as well. And he had to go in and resolve that in surgery. It is not something major, but he's going to be out for a few weeks, I think. That is Mikel Arteta first and foremost on the injury update on the player. On how big the blow for Jesus' injury is, he says, I think it's going to be a big blow because we had him back to his best, especially with the way he played against FC Barca. And he was in very good condition, and we've lost him again. He's been feeling some discomfort in the last few weeks. We had to look at it. And we had to make a decision, and the best option was to protect the player and get him back as quickly as possible. So we decided to do it and go for surgery. On if it's a new injury for Jesus, he says no, it's not a new injury. It's something related to the previous injury that he had, and that's why we went in for surgery. He had some irritation in the knee, and we decided to get it resolved. So that is Mikel Arteta first and foremost, talking about Gabriel Jesus. He had some discomfort in the knee area for a couple of weeks. Mikel Arteta says that we had got him back to the best. We had got him back to his best. However, they decided to do the surgery to protect the player and his career, and also to have him as quick as possible, as soon as possible, back on the pitch. Now, this is the most devastating news anyone could give you as an Arsenal fan. And the reason is simple. We have actually dealt with every other department in this Arsenal team We have doubled down the numbers in each and every other department. We're trying to sign a good goalkeeper to rival Ramsdale. We've signed good centre backs and full backs to rival Ben White, Tomiyasu, and Zichenko. We have signed a couple of midfielders. We have very, very good coverage in midfield. But that one position, that one area where Arsenal do not have enough cover, that one area where Arsenal do not have depth in squad, that is where we have picked up an injury. Man, look, this could be a blessing in disguise. Like, it could be a blessing in disguise, and it could be one of those situations where if Arsenal react quickly, if Arsenal can go out to the market and sign a good number 9, if Arsenal can go out in the market and get a good striker, then it's kind of a blessing in disguise. But if we have exhausted our budget, if we have, used up all the money we had to spend this summer already, which I think is not the case, by the way, because we're trying to sign David Raya, and we're also trying to sell some players as well that could actually bring in some money through the door. Can we go out and get a striker? I think that's going to be the big question. So let's talk about the options available for this side. Number 1 is Eddie Nketiah. So since the World Cup, since Gabriel Jesus picked up that injury during the World Cup, we've used Eddie as our number 9. We've used Eddie as a striker. And I don't think Eddie Nketiah is actually a box striker, like many people are saying, including Sky Sports pundits. I don't think he's just a box striker. Yes, he's a fox in the box, and his movement is much better than that of Gabriel Jesus in the penalty area. But he's not just a box striker. He's one of those players that you will see getting off that line and dropping into midfield and doing all this cool stuff just like Jesus does it. Probably not to the levels of Gabriel Jesus, but we know he's got that in him. But the problem with Eddie is you cannot rely on him for a title charge. Like, even Crystal Palace would not rely on Eddie Nketiah solely to make them survive Premier League relegation. So that is my problem with Eddie. He's a very good option. He's a very good striker, but you can't rely on him. He's not reliable. He's not a striker that will guarantee you a goal per 180 minutes. That is not his game. He will go 4 games without his goal. He will go 5 games without a goal. Like I said, he scored 4 goals in 10 appearances when Gabriel Jesus was injured. 2 of those goals came against Man United in 1 game. 1 of those goals came against West Ham. I think that was immediately after the World Cup. And the other goal came against, I don't remember the other goal. So that's the problem with Eddie. He's not consistently going to score for you goals, and he's not going to consistently be a threat up top. I think with Gabriel Jesus, he doesn't consistently score goals, but what he does is he provides that consistent threat. He provides that consistent, performance up top. So Eddie Nketiah is out of the picture. The other option is Florian Balogun. Balogun is a good player, but is he ready for that big stage? And his attitude and whatever he's actually been saying, it shows that he's not ready to be at Arsenal. He's not the kind of guy that we should be relying on. However, his demands are also very clear. He wants to play fast-paced football. He wants to be Arsenal's main man. Is this time for Florian Balogun to show what he can do? Is it time for Florian Balogun to score the goals at Arsenal? I'm not going to lie. The way we play depends on Balogun. But with players like Declan Rice, on Gabriel Jesus, with players like Rice, with players like Partey, with players like Martin Odegaard, there will be a lot of creativity in this side. There will be a lot of chances created for this side. And probably, I'm thinking about this in the same way Erik ten Hag thought when he was signing Rasmus Højlund. Are we not creating good chances because we don't have a striker to create for? I mean, there is a point to be debated here. Are Arsenal not actually going direct because we don't have a direct striker? And would Florian Balogun actually force the likes of Saka Martinelli, and Odegaard to increase their creativity per 90. I think Balogun is a good striker. But my question is he ready? If he is ready, if Mikel Arteta thinks he is ready, then definitely I got no issues there. I really, really don't have any issues with Flo. But I don't think he's ready. The other option is Leandro Trossard, and I think this is where Mikel Arteta is going to fall back to. Leandro Trossard playing as your false nine, and of course you have Kai Havertz play in that position where Xhaka was in the left 8. Now, it looks like Trossard is your go-to guy. And there is no question Trossard is a good goal scorer. He's a creator as well, very creative and a good goal scorer. So I won't be surprised to see Leandro Trossard hitting the same number of, GA as Odegaard. But again, that actually leaves us on bare skin. What if something happens to Leandro Trossard? What do you do? Right? Or if something happens to Gabriel Martinelli, what do you do? Still, Trossard could be used as an improvisation, but we still need someone in that position. The other option would be using Kai Havertz as your number 9. But I think Kai Havertz and his nightmares in the Premier League have come courtesy of that position. Now, he might reinvent the position. He might reinvent himself in that position at Arsenal. But I don't think he's comfortable playing there. I don't think he wants to play there. So those are the options we have in squad. Out of the squad, it definitely means going out and buying a striker. There are not so many cheap strikers at the moment. How I wish Ivan Toney was available, because what you do is you get 30-40 million and sign him right away, but he's not available. Maybe Alexander Mitrovic. Maybe Mitrovic could be an option. I don't know. Because strikers are very expensive. Rasmus Haaland, a striker with 9 goals last campaign, has gone for 85 million euros. There's a lot of potential there. There is a lot of resale value, and there is a lot of talent to be harvested. But still, doesn't make it better. He's 85 million euros with 9 goals. So if Arsenal are going to go out on the market to find a striker, it might not be the easiest of tasks. Anyway. But Mikel has given us that huge update on Gabriel Jesus. So it looks like we're going to have a long August talking about striker reinforcements. Mikel Arteta, on the other aspects of the game, first and foremost, he was asked about on how useful the test was for us, and he said yes, the test was very good, especially for a lot of players that haven't had many minutes in preseason as well. For the new players to play for their first time at the Emirates Stadium, it was special. You could tell, you could feel the atmosphere and how excited the fans were. In terms of the game, we struggled a little bit to dominate completely, and we have and have the game that we want. But we had much better periods, especially in the second half. Now, I talked about it. We struggled in this game. And we struggled in preseason. I think Mikel Arteta is overthinking his tactics and, techniques and whatever. I kind of feel like the team is disjointed. I kind of feel like we are no longer the team that everyone thought we would be. We're no longer that team that is organized. We're no longer that team that is waiting for another challenge. It looks like we've disintegrated, and I'm not really sure of the reason why it feels that way. Mikel Arteta on our fluid tactics and system, it says, there are certain rotations that we want, especially to adapt to the quality of the players that we have and make sure that we are comfortable in occupying spaces. There are a lot of changes, and you could see sometimes in the dynamic and in the timing that we are arriving, that it wasn't perfect. We are allowing certain spaces, especially when they had time on the ball, and then we had to defend open spaces. But these are things that we will adjust on. Okay, we should have done that in preseason. In my opinion, we should have adjusted in preseason. On why Bukayo Saka didn't feature in this game, he says he was fine, but afterwards he wasn't feeling great on the bench, and we didn't want to use him. I think he had some sickness or some illness, so we couldn't use Bukayo Saka in the game. On if he thought Declan Rice would score on his performance, because says yes, I thought so because I didn't see a defender coming so quickly. I thought he was in and he can finish when he's in those positions. He played more advanced today. He played more as an attacking midfielder today. It was his first time, and that's where he played. He says he's on the journey to get back to his best and adapt to the team. I didn't like Rice in that position. I didn't like Rice playing in such a very advanced area. But looks like Mikel Arteta is very positive on him playing there. On if Jesse's injury changes any transfer plans with Florian Balogun, he says the plan with Flo doesn't change at all. But unfortunately, with Gabi, we are not going to have him. We have other options to play with, different qualities of players, so we will adapt. On transfer links with David Raya, he says, I'm not going to talk about any player that doesn't play for us here. On Alexander Zinchenko, he says, I think he's close. I think he's going to start training with the team, and hopefully we will have him very, very soon. On Declan Rice's versatility, he says, I think he has the versatility to play in different roles, and it's going to be something that we want to do, especially to maximize the qualities that we have with other players. And they have the ability to play together with Thomas Partey, and in certain games we will use them in other positions. On Aaron Ramsdale, Mikel says he was really good. I think he was very, very composed in the game. I think he didn't have to intervene too much. I think the two actions, one was a goal that was very, very close range. One is the other action where they have a cutback and they hit the post. And there was not too much more to do. Everything he did in ball position was actually very, very good. I kind of fear for Aaron Ramsdale. Because although he's English, when the media start picking on you, it doesn't end. So because of David Raya and the links, everyone is actually pointing at Aaron Ramsdale. Everyone is going to be asking questions about, did he play well? Look at that mistake. Look at that misplaced pass, and it's going to be under more scrutiny and pressure than any other player. But just like he said, when he came in at Arsenal, no one expected him to be that good. So he just needs to continue being that good. I'll see you right in the next one.